yeah, we thought it would be fun. That was it. So the first thing Christi and I are going to make is carrot cake ice cream. And never made this before. Had to work on the formula, and there's no guarantee that it'll work. But that's the fun of making ice cream. Is Jeff taught me this. I used to buy cans of flavor, big cans of flavor of gloppy strawberries in heavy corn syrup. Now Jeff taught me to go to the supermarket and just look around and get creative ideas. Well, strawberries in season. Okay, let's use some strawberries. Well, here's a cake mix or a pie mix for strawberry shortcake. Hey, what if we throw that into the ice cream? We're not going to do that, but that's the kind of things you can do. So Christi came up with the idea of the carrot cake, and we sat down, we figured out how we would put this together, and that's what we're going to try to make. And we'll see what happens. One little tip. We give out our flavors and formulas, and they're at the website, emerythompson.com, and YouTube, our YouTube channel. And they're there for the taking. Use them, enjoy them, modify them to your personal taste. Jeff's formulas are secret to Jeff. But he's here today, and he's going to reveal all those secrets. So what I would suggest is you get ready with pen and paper, because Jeff will be telling you exactly what's in his ice cream. But if you don't listen carefully, you're going to go, what'd he say? Yeah. And lips are sealed. You'll never hear it again. So get ready when Jeff talks to write down exactly what he's doing, and be forewarned, he might decide to change the formula in midstream. That's okay too. Write that down. That way you'll get all the formulas that we're going to run through today. So we're going to start with 3 carrot cakes. And Christi, while I yak away, I'm going to ask you to grind up one of them. Okay. Jeff also told me about Ninja blenders. These things are great. I mean, they could blend concrete. And
6 plates.
Oh, this thing is dangerous.
Very.
Yeah, I mean, that is 6 razor-sharp blades. If you're ever in a fight, that thing is great. So be careful of that, of course. But Jeff found a trick. Like the carrot cake, it's going to be soft and mushy and sweet. And if we throw that in there, it's going to turn into mush. So Jeff taught me to pre-freeze it. And by pre-freezing it, it's going to, we're going to turn it into a powder of carrot cake, which means for every particle of dairy that we have, we're going to have a particle of carrot cake next to it. It's going to give a much better taste. Any other machine on the markets, we throw whole cookies, candies in here, trying to get the fruit flavor, and other people have to add everything that's coming out. I put half my products in the machine and half of it's coming out. So we pre-sanitize this, we're ready to go.
Did you want the whole cake in there?
Yes. Oh yeah, the whole thing.
Oh yeah.
Now this is called, let me get back on camera here. We call this mix. It's a terrible term. But every industry has its terms, like computers have, bits and bauds and all sorts of stuff I don't understand. We have a perfectly good product that came out of the cow at 4:30 yesterday afternoon as milk. And then a local dairy with dairy scientists separated this into milk, cream, and skim milk. And then they re-put it together to come up with a perfectly balanced blend for making ice cream. A lot of people want to make their own, and if they do, there's a great company, Micro Dairy, I think it is called, Frank Kipe, and I have that information, who makes great pasteurizers. But for the most part, most of you will buy this from a local dairy. And it was pasteurized, homogenized last night, delivered early this morning to your store, so it's as fresh as it can get. We make better ice cream than anywhere in the world, any other country, because we have these fresh dairies that can do this for you. And these are dairy scientists who understand the difference between, there's about 5 different brands of cows, and they produce different output as far as fat content. Fat content varies between winter and summer. These people know all that, because what you're looking for is consistency. McDonald's, I say in the other videos, and I repeat myself a lot, so you'll hear stuff over and over again. Somebody wrote the other day and said, I've heard your jokes 10 times. And I said, well, I laugh at them every time I say them. McDonald's is a lousy hamburger, in my opinion. But whether you're in San Diego or Tampa or Mozambique or Istanbul, you see the golden arches and you go in, you know exactly what the double cheeseburger is going to taste like. This way, we're trying to do the same thing with the ice cream. If you only come to visit once a year, we wanted the same great mint chip that you had last year. So we're going to measure out 4 quarts. This is always the scary part.
While you're doing that?
Yes.
I know I've asked the question about adding alcohol to some of these things. Mm-hmm. Would you be able to add alcohol to something like that?
Yes, if I wanted to add alcohol to this, I would probably, because of the carrot cake and the basis of it, I would probably add the orange liqueur Grand Marnier. Ooh. Very expensive, but very delicious. And you could add up to a pint into the machine. We are the only machines that you can add that much or more into it because we have so much heavy refrigeration power that the alcohol will always stay in suspension. It's not going to freeze. It freezes at something like 273 degrees below zero. But it will stay in suspension, so it becomes part of the ice cream. Anybody else's machine, you have to add it extra, and then it melts the ice cream, and it's no good. But that would be a nice touch to that. Maybe we'll do that some morning and then not give it out.
Yeah, in the morning?
Yeah, we'll do it for our own class. You want to go ahead and pour that in, Christy?
Yeah, the CB350.
Please. And so we've got one of the carrot cakes ground up. The second one we're going to leave to put in pieces as it's coming out. And we're going to throw this in the Ninja blender. You know what I forgot to put down, which is always important, is if I can find my vanilla, some vanilla.
Bottom.
Thank you. I use Lockheed vanilla. Lockheed is a family business, been around for a very long time. It's Lochhead. And this is an all-natural vanilla. It's flavor 103A. And you can call up Darren Rodman at Lockheed, and we can give you the number, and you can order that up. But vanilla enhances everything. And this is an affordable, vanilla is very expensive, but this is relatively affordable. And we're going to do 4 quarts here, so I'm going to take Jeff's method and he's going to add 4 quarts to vanilla. I'm going to add 3 quarts because my predominant flavor is not vanilla, it's the cake. But I'm going to add in 3 ounces, I said 3 quarts, 3 ounces of vanilla, and that's going to enhance the flavor. The only time I wouldn't use vanilla in an ice cream is when it doesn't jibe with the flavor I'm making. If I'm making red raspberry ice cream, the raspberries are the main part of the show, so vanilla is not going to improve on that. And the Infinite Overrun we'll talk about later, but I go over to the touch screen, my Infinite Overrun control, my invention, and I hit Make Ice Cream, and I'm going to use Super Premium. I want to put in a little bit less air than I would for homemade ice cream, make it a little richer. So I'm going to hit Super Premium and start and turn on the refrigeration. Now when you see Jeff make ice cream, he'll mix it for a while. Thank you. But it's in my mind it's unnecessary because this is going to take about 8 to 10 minutes. And so for the first 4 minutes, it's just chilling everything down. It's not yet turning into ice cream. So I'm going to get all the mixing I could possibly want before it even starts freezing. But the refrigeration is on, and it's doing its job. And this is all going to mix together.
It's my favorite part, is the peak. Is it going?
Yeah, I'll let you take over. Why don't you stand here so the camera can pick you up. Any questions so far? Nobody? Jeff, do you have a... Yes.
If I poured in some vodka, can you mix it with anything?
I'm sorry, what?
If I poured in some vodka, could you mix it so we can see how it tastes?
If you brought in some vodka, it'll taste good. I can assure you. No, we're not going off the subject today, but usually if you're going to make ice cream, vodka is a fine drink, but it's really pretty neutral. I mean, you put it in tonic and it's a drink, but if you want something with real flavor, look to some of the liqueurs or some of the stronger flavors, like rum is great to use. Jeff had some rum raisin ice cream here this morning that they made yesterday that was fantastic. I mentioned the Grand Marnier. Kahlua is a coffee liqueur. That's excellent. Tia Maria is a nice after-dinner liqueur. That can be used. Any of these can be put into ice cream. And they do add a lot of flavor. Different states have different rules and regulations about how much you can use, and during the lunch break or if you want to find out more about that, we can talk to you about it. Anybody else for the moment? Have we got everything in here? Have I left anything out? I usually leave things out.
You look, I think everything's good. The only thing you did was the vanilla, but you got that in there.
I got that in. Okay. So we're just going to let that run. I'll go over here and tell you about the infinite overrun control.
Hey, Steve.
Yes.
Did you put in sugar?
No. Thank you. We forgot the sugar. Hey. I wanted to, and I'm going to change that up. If you want to change the recipe on your paper, it says 1 cup of sugar. I'm going to try a half a cup of sugar. Half a cup. Would you mind doing that? A half a cup of sugar is not necessarily going to make it sweeter. It's not that much. But sugar brings out flavor in other products. And the carrot cake has great flavor, but we want even more out of it. So we're going to try this as an experiment.
Say, what kind of sugar are you using?
Oh, yes. All right. I knew this was coming. For those of you who have watched my videos over and over again, I have to formally apologize to Tie-Dye Jeff.
To who?
Tie-Dye Jeff Markow. It's killing
Okay.
me. It's killing me. You're killing me, Elizabeth.
What?
You're killing me.
Smalls.
Yeah,
You're
thank
killing
you.
me,
You're
Smalls.
killing me, Smalls. I am not being cheap with making my ice cream, but I couldn't see buying Domino sugar just for a name brand. I bought our stores down here, our supermarkets are called Publix, but it could be Pathmark, ShopRite, Wegmans, whatever's in your neighborhood. I bought the store brand and saved a few pennies. Jeff was always using the Domino sugar. Well, all of a sudden I was doing this and I was talking with a gentleman and he said, I hate to tell you this, Steve, after 12 years, but Jeff is right. There is a big difference and it's really hidden and very clever. All of them say sugar. That's what this stuff is sugar. But my cheaper brand, my store brand, is beet sugar. It's made from beets. It's made up in one of those middle states somewhere in the United States. This is cane sugar, pure cane sugar. So this is, when you think of sugar, you really mean cane sugar, not beet sugar. So, and he said, he was a scientist, and he said there's a big difference in it that beet sugar is actually not as good for your body. It has a higher caloric count. This stuff I gotta live with. So this stuff is better, and old what's his name was right for all those years. So when it says sugar, and it says it right on the package, pure cane sugar. The off brands just say sugar.
Pure granulated sugar.
Yeah. See, they're trying to get the word in pure to fool you, but didn't fool Jeff. Well, he didn't even know that. He wanted it. This is all by luck because he wanted to use this because it doesn't clump, and he couldn't deal with the clumps. But now it turns out there's scientific data. You know, he must have been talking
Can't
to
argue
Fauci.
with
They got
science.
this scientific data to tell us that this is better.
Just ask Fauci. You can't argue with science.
I did have a trucker once tell me it dissolved faster in coffee than any other sugar.
Which one?
That'll be cut out,
Cane
to
sugar?
be sure.
Huh. Well, there you go. So once he was right. Yes.
Sugar, even as that's
cooling down, the sugar breaks down well in it if you get it early?
Oh, it'll dissolve instantly.
Yeah.
In fact, when we're making Italian ice, we're going to, in a bigger machine, we'd be using 7 pounds of sugar. And I mix that in the water first because I don't, sugar pouring it in the machine can technically take it, but it's like pouring and using sandpaper until it dissolves. So when we mix up all this, you know, people tell me, oh, they're going to boil the sugar and do this and that. I say, just pour it into a bucket and stir it. After 30 seconds, and you go to pour it in, they say, but it's not all dissolved. There's this little stream of sugar. I said, we just put 7 pounds in. What do we care about a little stream? It's nothing. And having spent my childhood running around the Caribbean with my parents back before, I mean, that was before dirt was formed. You know, because it was a long time ago. We used to have to boil the water because we drank water that came off of the roof and it went into a cistern, and so you had to boil it. If you want to taste something awful, taste boiled water. Because all the air comes out of it, and it is the most awful taste on earth. So you do not want to boil water. It'll ruin your Italian ice.
It was looking a little full,
So this has a timer on it. It tells me we've been going for 7 minutes and 27 seconds. But I know we're dealing with a high sugar content product because I put sugar in, and because of the carrot cake. The more sugar in a product, in the overall product, the longer it'll take. So ice cream is, vanilla ice cream somewhere around 7 minutes freeze time. Strawberries, which are all sugar, might be 10 minutes. So there's nothing wrong with your machine. It's just the varying of it, and you learn that. Yes. Nope. We're going to put this into one of the longer gelato pans. Oh, you got it? Mm-hmm. Okay. I'll just take another smaller one to check it. That's not ready. See, we put a lot of product in here, too. We push the limit of the machine.
Whoa.
I never said I was neat.
No.
Can I borrow your water for a second? Oh, thanks. It's hot. Any questions so far? You're an easy crowd. Who's going?
They just want ice cream.
They just want ice cream. Yeah, when I was raising 4 kids, and the school would call me in, they made up a term to teach to 7th graders. They said, we want you to come in and talk to them about simple machines. So I'd bring in the machine that my grandfather started with, was this rock, salt, and ice machine, where you put the ingredients into a cylinder. It's got a beater, or the old-fashioned term is dasher. We use that spins around. It scrapes the ice cream off the walls. And for your source of cold, you put ice and rock salt. You notice that your lakes freeze in the winter, but the ocean doesn't. That's because the ocean has salt in it. It reduces the temperature, the freezing point of water. So you turn this for 40 minutes, and you get a quart of ice cream. Our batch freezers are doing the exact same thing, but vastly updated and much faster. But I had a little motor attached to one of these, and they'd call me in, and I'm supposed to talk about this simple machine, and all eyes were glued on the machine. I could have been reading the Magna Carta to these kids for all they cared, or the Constitution, and all they cared about was they were going to get ice cream. And quite frankly, it's the same look that I'm seeing on your guys' faces. How many of you are going into ice cream, and how many are going into an ice cream parlor? Okay, about 4. And how many are doing Italian ices? Okay. How many of you are just here for the free ice cream? Most of them. All right.
Steve,
At least you're honest.
I think we're pretty good.
Okay.
You want to see?
So we're going to shake in the pieces.
Yeah. You want it a little longer?
Just a little bit longer. Yeah, we'll go another 2 minutes.
Okay. I'm going to leave that.
We have a timer on the machine. It's running here. It shows you your running time. So that's why I turn on. Another reason I turn the refrigeration on right away. If you turn it on the beater and just let it whip, which there's no reason to, you're adding time, but you're not getting an accurate timing of the freezing process. And it's just to give you a guideline. All the technology that we have, 116 years in business, world's largest manufacturer of batch freezers. I try not to put gadgets on my machine. So I don't have a timer that checks the consistency or a timer that shuts the machine down when it's ready. Why? Because it's like baking. When I see my wife Paula baking, she sets the timer for 23 minutes, and then at 23 minutes, she doesn't pull it out. She comes back and checks it. And so I know that 8 minutes, 7 minutes, 8 minutes is going to be my normal freezing time. And if I add more sugar, it'll be a little bit longer. So I can be doing other stuff, and I can come over here and see what my run time is. I think we're ready. You want to?
Those are too big.
Oh, well, we're going to break these up.
You.
I need a little container to put that in. I'm going to turn off the refrigeration so we don't go too far. Excuse me?
Got it. You already got your fingers dirty, Steve, so you can toss it in.
Yeah, but they are clean. I've got sanitizer up here galore. Okay, I should have done this while I was making the ice cream. But I want these pieces in here so you have some flavor identity. And it's just going to taste great.
Guess I should help, huh?
Well, you'll get your fingers all dirty.
That's all right. Didn't know you were going to add it in. I could have done it.
Oh, that's all right. No, I'm going to add it in anyway. Okay.
Ready?
Yeah. So, Mike, I guess you'll have to use the center camera. Okay, let's go. Oh, that was a big piece. Hold on. Shut it down for a minute. This is fun. You haven't had this much fun since kindergarten, playing with Play-Doh. Okay, here we go. Now, for every particle of dairy, there is a particle of cake in the ice cream. We put the flavor into the machine. And then that gives us the fruit flavor, but now the identity, what is this stuff? Well, it's carrot cake. I think that's all we're going to get in this pan.
Me too.
And when we tell you the production capability of this machine, we lie. We tell you it's 6 quarts, we know it's more, but we're going to own up to 6. That way you have a nice surprise when more comes out. And of course, if you add more ingredients, you're taking up more volume. So this is going to produce more than a vanilla ice cream because the vanilla doesn't have 2 carrot cakes in it. And if you want this really great carrot cake, I could give you the recipe. You get in your car, you drive down the street to the public supermarket and tell them you want a carrot cake. And I tell you, it's the best on earth. That's it. No, it's still coming out.
Like
So-
you said, you lied, Steve.
Yeah, so we got 7.5 quarts out. Nice. Okay. Now we're going to serve this to you. Can you what?
Can we tip the servers?
Absolutely. But make sure you tip the salmon yay too. So the other carrot cake. And I got to get some plates.
I don't know what you did with the other carrot cake.
Let's see. It's in the refrigerator.
I gotta wipe that off.
I'll start doling these out.
Okay, I'll go get your carrot cake.
We thought we'd give you the carrot cake ice cream. This is your breakfast. And then next, Jeff's going to give you coffee with it.
Now, if you were making this for your ice cream shop, would you just take that down and put it in a container and freeze it?
I would put it into my freezer, yes. Take it down as cold as I possibly can. Where'd all this... Here we go.
That you need for that, correct?
We'll probably talk about that a lot today, but the colder and faster you can get the ice cream, the longer it'll last. If you do nothing to it, it'll be great for 3 days. So if you can find plates, and there's a big knife in the kitchen, we'll slice them up and
Okay.
hand out. We'll do the carrot cake separate. I'll get the ice creams going.
Okay.
So what do you think, Jeff?
It's beautiful.
What do you really think?
Well, what I really think is that it looks beautiful.
Would you do anything different?
Maybe.
Tell us what you would do. This is how we learn. This doesn't mean that it's perfect. It means that this is the first time we've ever made it.
Well, let's get the audience opinion on it.
Good idea. I used to stand up here and say, hey, isn't this great? Well, that's a loaded question. Now what I ask is, okay, taste it. What's wrong with it? And when you have people running to the bathroom, you know that you don't even have to ask the question. But otherwise, we do get some good feedback because, again, I've never made this before. This is just based on, well, I've thrown stuff into the machine before, so I've got a pretty good idea of how to do it.
Steal that.
Okay.
Sorry.
So if you deep freeze that,
Yeah.
and the taste we're going to get right now,
Yeah.
is it going to be better after it freezes for a couple days?
Well, it depends on who you talk to. If you talk to someone who doesn't know a part of their body from third base, they would say it's as good as it gets. I know that the Fauci scientists say that the flavor enhances after freezing. And I'm with that school of thought. If I give you my vanilla ice cream right out of the machine, you'll say, oh, that's great, but you're secretly whispering, it's kind of missing the vanilla. But if you wait 8 hours to try it, the vanilla gets enhanced. It gets stronger. So I would say this flavor gets better. In fact, Mike, you're in the control room there, right?
Yes.
Didn't you say that you thought that Jeff's rum raisin was better this morning than yesterday?
I did say that.
So there you go. That's our intercom called the VOG, the voice of God. And I'm not saying God's here, but you heard it through the system. I can't argue with it.
Do I get a rebuttal?
No, this is my turn. You can rebut when it's your turn. No, of course you can. Go ahead.
No, that's all right. I'll wait.
No.
See, the bigger chunks, once it's frozen, will it be, like this, the last he put in should be soft. It'll be, when it's frozen good, will it
If
have a
it's
good texture to it?
If it's
Remember when
frozen,
we were kids and we got a bowl of ice cream? What did we do with it? We swirled it around until it became soft. What we're doing is we're heating it up. And we're swirling it till it's custard-like. And then we taste it. Oh, that was great. And it was as flavorful as it gets.
Too much?
In my opinion,
I got him.
not science, in my opinion, for 70 years of eating ice cream, is that it'll never taste as good as this. Because when you freeze it, you don't get all the flavor. That's why we swirl it. And that's why at a good ice cream store, they'll temper it. They'll take out the ice cream and let it sit for a while so that it has a chance to, in essence, melt a little. Because melted ice cream, which is heated ice cream, tastes better. You all did it when you were a kid, right? And if you took a spoon and went right to the half gallon in the freezer and you dug it out and got a piece, and it was okay, but it was better when it was like that.
Christi, you were going to say about when you will this
That's all I have to say about that.
Will this turn into hard product?
well, for our purpose of freezing it before putting it into the machine is it's not sticky. So as you saw when we were trying to crumble it up, it was sticking everywhere. Same thing with chocolate. If you freeze chocolate before you put it into the machine, it's not as sticky and it's not going to bind up. So freezing it makes it more crumblier, I guess you would say, to where it can even out. So freezing it before would be best. I have 3 more left, in case anybody doesn't get any.
Also, with the high sugar content of this product, it isn't going to turn into rocks. We've had product turn into rocks. Candy corn, Sharknado ice cream turns into rocks. Turns into the rocks to the point where after I made Sharknado and put it out there for the world, I started getting lawsuits because Johnny broke his molars eating my Sharknado
Johnny
ice cream.
did that?
Yeah, Johnny McGregor from Clemson. Here we go. Okay. There you go. Okay. So we're not going to ask you how wonderfully great is this? We're going to just ask you, what would you do to improve it?
I haven't tried it yet.
I'm getting
You want
there.
one, Jeff?
No, thanks.
Here you go.
John.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Slide that down. You
That's
take
a good ice cream.
one. All right. Slide that down.
Are you sure? It's really good. Jeff?
Oh, no, thanks.
Oh, yeah, me too. I mean, it has nothing to do with carrots. I mean, there may be carrots in there, but you can't taste them. Want to try it?
No, thanks.
Okay.
I tried it. I tasted it.
All right, so what would you do to improve it?
I would add a couple, maybe a teaspoon of cinnamon to the mix.
Let Jeff know.
That's good. I like the extra sugar. It brought out the flavor. Anybody have any ideas? No?
Cinnamon or nutmeg?
Yeah, something with a little more flavor.
Any
Yeah.
of the spices that went into the carrot cake,
Yeah.
And would there
it's so
be
wonderful.
I think the cinnamon's a great idea.
would there be any way to get a little more of like the frosting flavor? Because I love cream cheese frosting.
Yeah, I guess you'd have to make a separate frosting for it. I've got ice cream on the floor.
This is really good.